Hello friends, welcome to UK Dreamers. This is Aman. In this video, I would be discussing if a GP from around the world can actually come into the UK and work without giving any exams. And as most of you have been emailing me regarding your current scenarios that you've done this exam but you're working as a GP, what could be the prospects for you, what could be the alternative routes for you is what we would be discussing in this video. So watch this video till the end, and if you've not subscribed to the channel yet, please subscribe it and share with your friends. So guys, if you are working in any part of the world as a general practitioner and you want to come to the UK thinking that you might be given a sponsorship to the GMC, the straightforward answer to that is no. Reason being, the Royal College of General Practitioners, the RCGP, is not in any program which sponsors GP to directly come to the UK and work as a GP in the UK. So as many of you you've been working somewhere in your countries, working in Middle East. So basically that you've done few parts of, for instance, you've done a part of MRCP 1, 2, but you're working basically as a GP. So does this qualify you to get a sponsorship? Unfortunately, no. The reason being, since, as I said, there is no sponsorship scheme exclusively for the GPs. If you want to be a GP in the UK, there are just one pathway, and that's very simple, that you have to get into the training. However, many of you colleagues would have written MRCGP International, but it still does not allow you to come and work in the UK. So if you've written MRCGP International, you can work anywhere in the world except UK, unfortunately. So what happens is, if you want to come and work as a GP in the UK, as I've said earlier, you have to apply for the ST1 applications through Oriel. You have to get your MSRA exams. You have to get the certificate of readiness of entering the specialty training, which is also called the CREST form. But all of this works or comes into plan only if you have a GMC registration. But unfortunately, no sponsorship, no GMC registration. So how can we actually cope with this? So I know a couple of my colleagues who have actually been general practitioners in their countries, but they're currently in the UK. They got sponsored, but how? So if you think, as I've told in the video earlier, if you're just doing GP, no sponsorship. So what you can do basically is, if you're doing GP out of interest or out of any other obligations, you need to go back to hospital practice. If, for instance, let me give you an example. So there is one doctor who has got MRCP 1 and 2, but he is working as a GP. So how can he get sponsored? So for him to get sponsored, he needs to go back to hospital practice. I'm not saying he needs to work 24/7 into hospital, but he has to have a main attachment to a hospital and do some clinics. You may say, you don't call it as a general practice, but rather as clinics in XYZ place. So once you're in the hospital practice, then you can get your eligibility stuff basically prepared, which includes that you should have at least worked 3 years in that specialty in the past 5 years, and the last 12 months of your employment should be all continuous. So these are the basic ones that you need to have if you're thinking of applying sponsorship, else the door closes for you guys. So now, for instance, someone has got their MRCP 1 and 2, okay, and he has been working, as I said, in the clinics. So he wants to come to the UK and work in, say, for instance, acute medicine or work in rheumatology. So you need to have a background of rheumatology, guys. You just can't come and say, oh, I want to work in rheumatology. It's quite competitive. You have to understand it. I've been telling this in my videos before. The UK system would rather prefer their seats going vacant rather keeping someone who's not that eligible or fit for the post. So it is competitive. It's getting more competitive. So if you're not having a decent CV, not having good publications, not teachings, it's really difficult to get a sponsorship scheme. So guys, if you want to come to the UK and you are actually working in general practice, unfortunately there is no sponsorship scheme for you. The only way to bypass this is if you can get some sort of hospital attachment, work in a hospital, show your GP practice as clinics basically of special interest or something, and then only, if you fulfill the other criterias for sponsorship, then and only you can come to the UK, else not. So if you like this video, like and share with your friends, and you do visit my channel. If you've got any other queries, leave them in the comments below. I've been getting a lot of log up regarding the emails and the replies. I really apologize, but it's getting busier, so kindly bear with me. Till then, I'll see you in next video. Take care. Cheers. Bye.